All right, guys. What is it? Sunday evening. Yeah, Sunday evening in Arkansas. This is Chief Forecast. The camera back here once again to give you guys a live stream going over the ice storm potential for tomorrow. So we're gonna wait for some people to come in. We had some technical difficulties on Facebook. It's always Facebook, right? So we're gonna wait for some more people to come in. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday evening across the board. Let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. My audio levels look good. Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me as well here. So we had some difficulties tonight, but it looks like we're back up and running here. Okay, so we've got a good amount to talk about. I'm gonna go over your questions as well, so you don't have to worry about it. Brandon, that's also an option as well. You can also use. That's why YouTube is there. We have two different areas that we can go live on. So it looks like we're good. We've got a little over 1,000 people tonight. Hope y'all are having a good Sunday evening across the board. I know the grocery stores are just slam-packed today. Everyone getting ready for this ice potential. So I think we're good to go. I think we all's good. Everyone can hear us. We're good to go. So we're going to get started with the alerts. We have the ice storm warning across West Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas, and then everywhere else is a winter weather advisory across the board. Yesterday, we had a winter storm watch, we had a winter storm warning, we had the ice storm warnings, and now it appears that the best ice potential is going to be across western Arkansas in terms of the significant ice accumulations. We're talking totals upwards to about a quarter to half an inch of ice, maybe greater here. But anyone in the advisory area, I want to kind of tell you guys real quickly here that we're still expecting ice. Some areas could be right around that quarter of an inch of ice period, along with the wind gusts here. So we've got a good amount to talk about for tonight here, okay? So I'm going to start you guys off with the winter weather outlook across the board. Eastern Arkansas, I'm pretty much confident that this is going to be a cold rain for you guys because this is going to come in pretty late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and temperatures are hopefully above freezing. I'm going to tell you guys right now, guidance has not done well with temperatures at all. I mean, today we're supposed to be, 37, 38 degrees. We're supposed to warm up. Areas didn't even get out of 20s today. In some cases, didn't even get above freezing. So that may have some implications on tomorrow's event. As you've noticed throughout the day, there has been a slight eastward jog with the freezing rain line going more into Lonoke County, just outside of Jonesboro and just outside of Magnolia down there in southern Arkansas, which has led to the expansion of the winter weather advisory across central, eastern, and down into southwestern Arkansas here. Still looking at western Arkansas for the potential of seeing heavy freezing rain from Fayetteville to basically Harrison down to Jasper, Russellville, the Waldron area, over towards Fort Smith. I'm very concerned about the potential of power outages and some tree damage over there due to significant ice accumulations as we get towards late tonight and into tomorrow. And as you can notice on the bottom right corner of your screen, Monday has been now upgraded to a high risk for travel, especially for our folks out there in western Arkansas here. So we've got school closures. If you want to check that out, that is going to be on our Arkansas Weather Watchers app. One of my guys, let's get a link in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Go download that app. It's going to give you all the information you need to know in terms of road closures, in terms of travel, in terms of school closures, etc. here. So make sure you go and download our app today, guys. Okay, so here's the timing. I know a lot of people are kind of tuning in, trying to figure out the timing. This is going to be a very, very, very early start for our folks over there in western Arkansas. It's going to be hitting you guys right around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's basically stretching from the I-49 corridor, that's from Fort Smith all the way up to Fayetteville, down to Waldron, down to Mena, down towards the Queen area. That is where we're going to start you guys off first thing tomorrow morning. And then later in the morning here, right around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, it's going to start spreading eastward towards the Russellville area, towards Little Rock, towards Conway, Searcy, over towards the Walnut Ridge area, Mount Home, down towards Hot Springs, down towards Hope, and down towards the Texarkana area. That's something that we're going to have to monitor because look at that time frame from 4 to 7 o'clock in the morning. You've got buses that are going to be trying to run. You've got kiddos trying to go to school. You've got people trying to go to work. That morning commute is going to be a nightmare tomorrow morning with freezing rain. Could be a little bit of sleet on the onset. I'm not really expecting this to be a big-time sleet event. This is primarily going to be a freezing rain event, but with the dry air in place, there could be a little bit just on the onset before transitioning over to freezing rain here. So you can see it's targeting a good amount of the interstates. That's Interstate 40, that's 49, 270 down there in southwestern Arkansas. A lot of areas are going to see impacts first thing tomorrow morning. So if you have to get out, if you have to get the kiddos to school, if you have to go to work tomorrow morning, take it easy on the roadways. Freezing rain and ice are a completely different beast compared to snow. A lot of people today, and we talked about this earlier on with the AccuWeather app and all the other apps were saying it was going to be 3 to 6 inches of snow and all that. We're not dealing with snow here, guys. This is not a snow event. This is primarily freezing rain and ice. And I told you guys with the last winter storm that freezing rain is one of the more dangerous winter precipitation types because all it does is create damage. It creates power outages, roads are a nightmare, and then tree limbs start falling as well here. So if you're planning on traveling tomorrow morning, I want to urge extreme caution. If you don't have to get out, don't get out first thing tomorrow morning. That's the biggest thing I want to stress across western Arkansas, along I-30 as well, up the 167 corridor that goes from Little Rock to Searcy up to the Walnut Ridge area here. So I want to stress tomorrow morning, if you don't have to get out, don't get out. Let this freezing rain transition over to regular rain. By the time you get in tomorrow night into Tuesday, we should be good to go travel-wise with cold rain moving in. But the question still remains, when do we transition over to a cold rain? That's going to be the number one thing that we're going to be concerned about as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So let's talk about the freezing rain totals. As you guys have noticed, there's been a slight east-southeast jog since last night's live stream, now encompassing more of the Little Rock area down towards southwestern Arkansas and up to northeastern Arkansas now. I still have far eastern Arkansas seeing a cold rain. That is going to depend on temperatures first thing tomorrow morning. You have some drier air over there as well, so the precipitation is going to be encountering that. A lot of factors kind of keeping you guys from seeing the ice over there in eastern Arkansas and along the Mississippi River. But, I mean, this is freezing rain. I don't think anybody wants to deal with freezing rain. This was snow, I understand, but freezing rain is just a completely different beast. You go further to the west, the totals will start to increase, and in that area in the purple, from Fayetteville to Jasper to Harrison to Russellville to Waldron down towards Fort Smith, that's Interstate 49, that's Interstate 40. I want to stress this right now. If you're planning on getting out tomorrow morning, there's no need to be a speed car. There's no need to be a race car. That's what I was meaning, race car. There's no need to go 100 miles per hour on the roadways, guys. Wherever you got to go, it's going to be there by the time we get towards first thing tomorrow morning. If you don't have to get out, this is going to be perfect weather for you to chill, relax. My suggestion for my folks in the purple area, I would charge your phones, charge your devices. Make sure if you have a generator that is up and running tonight before this stuff starts to move in, just in case. We are going to go over power outages coming up here in just a little bit. But like I said before, just a generalized area here, anywhere from Little Rock to Texarkana, Walnut Ridge, west and northwest. Tomorrow morning, if you have to get out, take it easy on the roadways. I don't want to get up in the morning hearing about a 40-car pile-up on Interstate 40 and all that. I want to hear that a lot of people, even though traffic's going to be a little slower tomorrow morning, I'd rather for you guys to be slow and get to where you're going in one piece than having all these issues first thing tomorrow morning here. So if y'all can stress that to anyone that's planning on traveling tomorrow morning, we would really, really appreciate it. I know a lot of people's got to get out and go, but just you don't have to go 100 miles per hour. Just take it easy on the roadways. Ice is a completely different beast to deal with versus snow here, okay? So that's the accumulation totals. I'm going to go back to this, by the way, while I'm answering questions. I'm just trying to speed blitz this through so that way I can answer you guys' questions a little quicker here, okay? So this is the travel impact scale for tomorrow here, okay? So basically, like I mentioned before, that east-southeast jog with the latest computer model data has forced us to kind of move things a little bit to the east of Little Rock. So along I-30, that 167 corridor over towards 530, over to just to the east side of Little Rock, that is where we're going to have a low-impact area. Some impacts could be possible. You'll have some slick roadways. Biggest thing I want to stress, because we saw this the other morning as well, especially my folks over there in Garland County, a glaze of ice can cause a lot more issues than a lot of people are thinking it will. Remember, the roadways, there are some roadways, the back roadways, still have snow on them. The roads are very, very, very cold. So anything that falls on the roadways, especially if it's frozen precipitation, it's going to be there for a while because the road temperatures are probably in the 20s and 30s. So it's going to be there for a little bit. So keep that in mind. Even a glaze of ice, even that little bit of an amount, will still cause a lot of travel issues, especially on the highways, the interstates, the areas that have not seen the snowfall kind of go away. So keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow morning here. Once we get to tomorrow night into Tuesday, we will hopefully switch this over to a cold rain. The ice will start to melt because temperatures are a lot warmer, and we should finally put it in to this Arctic cold and the snow that is in place right now here. But I want to stress, tomorrow morning along I-30, 167, Interstate 40, Interstate 49 up there in northwestern Arkansas, 270 down there in southwestern Arkansas. Those are going to be the areas that are going to be the highest impact areas for travel tomorrow morning. So please, please, please take it easy on the roadways here, okay? You go further to the west and northwest, you notice you go from a low impact to a high impact. Basically, that means very hazardous travel tomorrow morning. Travel is not recommended in this area, but I do understand a lot of people still have to go back to work, and a lot of schools are not closed. So if that is the case, like I mentioned before, just take it easy on the roadways, guys, and I promise you, you will get there here. But ice is something you do not want to tangle with going fast on the roadways here, okay? So this is from our sponsor, H8 Plumbing Solutions, our power outage scale here. And basically, this goes from a low risk to an extreme risk. There's a low risk of power outages across the I-30 area up into the Walnut Ridge area. Basically, what this means is that if totals, especially if you start getting close to 1/10 of an inch of ice in some areas, that's where you're going to start seeing some isolated power outages. We'll keep an eye on it. Another concern that I have is wind gusts are going to be up to 25 to 30 miles per hour as we get towards tomorrow. So something that we're going to have to watch very, very closely, especially my folks in western, northwestern Arkansas. 30 mile per hour winds, significant ice accumulations. That's what's going to lead to the higher end power outage potential here. So you can see basically from the Queen, Daisy, Mena, Waldron, Russellville, the Clinton area, Mount Holm, Harrison, Jasper, Fort Smith, up to the Fayetteville area. That's Interstate 49, that's Interstate 40, that's 270 down there in southwest Arkansas. Those areas are in that high risk zone for seeing power outages tomorrow, coupled, like I said before, the significant ice potential, and also coupled with the wind gusts upwards to 25 to 30 miles per hour as we get towards small. This is not gonna upgrade this to an extreme because you need almost an inch of ice, and you also need about 30 to 35 mile per hour winds to make that upgrade. But I'm not gonna do that with this go around. I think a high risk will be just fine out there in western and northwestern Arkansas here. Okay, so I've had a lot of questions about this as well. Why are we dealing with freezing rain? Why are we dealing with that instead of dealing with sleet or snow? Temperatures are going to be cold enough for it. Why aren't we dealing with it? Well, I'm going to make this as simple as I can. Basically, as we get towards late tonight into tomorrow, what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of southwest flow coming into the state. By the way, I see the timing questions. I'm going to get back to it in just a little bit. So patience, patience, patience. I have a lot of graphics I've got to go over, guys. So I promise you, I'm going to go back to the timing graphics. Just be patient with me for just a little bit, okay? So biggest thing that is going to be, as we get towards tomorrow, you're going to have southwest flow coming into the state. That's going to bring a lot of warm air aloft. So basically, it's going to cancel out snow. It's going to cancel out sleet. And you're going to deal with freezing rain transitioning over to rain. That's going to answer a lot of questions about why are the apps showing snow tomorrow, 3 to 6 inches of snow. We're not expecting that because you have a lot of warm air aloft that you're going to be dealing with as we get towards tomorrow here. And that's going to result in freezing rain. And then once temperatures get above freezing fully, we should convert this over to a cold rain and be done with the winter weather stuff for at least a couple of weeks here in Arkansas. Okay, so what I'm going to do for just a little bit is I'm going to go over to the timing map for just a little bit. I'm going to leave it right here because I have a lot of people that are asking timing right now. I'm going to leave it right here so you guys kind of see what's going on. 4 a.m. tomorrow morning to noon, and then 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. across the area. If you need the specific timing, as a matter of fact, give me just 1 second, and I'm going to see if this will work. Boom. Okay, so this is our Futurecast. So I'm going to leave this up a little bit because this one will probably answer a little bit more questions in terms of the specific hour by hour timing here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for just a little bit as well, I'm gonna see if I can slow this down just a little bit so you guys kind of see what's going on. So give me just 1 second. Let's see if I can slow this down just a little bit. All right, and it should be coming up here in just a little bit. Okay, so there's a Futurecast at this point. I'm gonna go over to the comments. Give me just 1 second here. Okay, so let's go to Tierra. I wish schools and employees would watch you guys rather than the other stations. I wish that too. Like I said, for tomorrow, the ice event is mainly going to be during the morning in the early afternoon. I am praying that we switch over to cold rain quicker because that will reduce your ice accumulations. The longer it takes to switch over to cold rain, the worse this is going to get. So let's hope we get to tomorrow morning, temperatures start rapidly getting above freezing, and we convert over to a cold rain. But biggest thing I'm going to stress is the longer it takes, the worse the ice event is going to be across the area. Okay, so let me see here. If you can't hear me, you may have to back out of Facebook and then come back in. That is a Facebook issue we've been dealing with. So driving from Paragould to Walnut Ridge at 6 o'clock in the morning, I think you should be okay if you're making that drive at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's just after that. Once you get to Walnut Ridge, that's where you're going to start having those issues later on in the morning here across the board. So let me see here. Okay, so I want to stress this right now, guys. We're not expecting any severe weather. Okay, if there was severe weather coming, we would be the first one to tell you. We're not expecting it. This is a cold rain. Temperatures are way too cold to expect severe weather here, guys. That's just how it's going to be. So, let me see here. Yeah, it's just going to be a cold rain, guys. No thunderstorms tomorrow. We're just going to, basically, you're transitioning over from freezing rain to a cold rain across the area here, okay? So, let me see. I think that's Chandler that sent that in. Yeah, it looks like we got some precipitation already trying to move into northwestern Arkansas. That's going to battle a lot of dry air as it's coming in here. But I'm thinking later on tonight, once the atmosphere's had a chance to moisten, we should start to see that freezing rain across northwestern Arkansas. So I know radar's telling you guys it's here right now. It's got to battle the dry air that's in place. Dew points are in the single digits across the area, the low teens. So it's going to take a little bit for it to kind of get everything ready and set for us as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So would it be better to leave 7 o'clock in the morning from Jonesboro to Texarkana? Honestly, you're going to be going on 30. It's going to be a little bit of a stretch first thing tomorrow morning. If you have to get out, guys, I'm going to stress this right now. If you have to get out, the biggest thing that I'm stressing is that you're taking it easy on the roadways here. I've got a bad feeling tomorrow morning we're going to wake up. A lot of people are going to be in a rush. It's going to be go, go, go. And that's where you're going to have those issues as we get towards tomorrow here. So just please take it easy on the roadways as we get towards tomorrow. Like Rich said, from freezing rain to cold rain. That's it. That's the biggest thing as we get towards tomorrow. No snow, no sleet, no widespread issues that are dragging out for 3 to 4 days. This is tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. And then we should transition over to a cold rain as we get into tomorrow night here. But this will impact school, that will impact road conditions as we get into tomorrow here, okay? So I'm just now tuning in. What did I miss? I'm going to go back over to the timing map for just a little bit. Give me just 1 second, guys. Like I said before, I know we got a lot of new people in. We're trying to explain it as quickly as possible, but I'm stressing to you guys right now, with every winter weather event, with severe weather, etc., patience is going to go a long way with us here. If you're patient and you wait just long enough, we'll get your questions answered here, guys. So just keep that in mind. So let me see here. Let's go to Camden, El Dorado area. I'm fairly certain you guys are going to be a cold rain, but I'm going to watch you guys first thing tomorrow morning. I've noticed over the last couple of hours there's been a little bit of shift to the east. So we'll watch you guys first thing tomorrow morning, but you should quickly switch over to a cold rain across southern Arkansas as we get into tomorrow here. Jeff, as of right now, no. We still have February. We still have March to contend with. This is just probably going to be the last one for a couple of weeks. We get to that period in January where we start seeing what's called a January thaw. Temperatures get back in the 50s and 60s. We get back to where we normally are for this time of the year. And then we deal with whatever's coming in February. So it's not going to be the last one. It's just going to be kind of relaxed winter weather-wise for the next couple of weeks here. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so I'm just tuning in. Sorry, I'm late. You're good. It's that freezing rain moving in. So yeah. What you're seeing on the Futurecast, that was just purely freezing rain. I'm gonna kind of switch over between the timing and the Futurecast because I think that's gonna answer a lot of questions. One of my guys, if y'all can get the link to that Futurecast on the comments, I'd appreciate it. We posted that first thing this morning. A lot of people may have missed it because of church or trying to get ready for the ice event, but we did post a Futurecast this morning. If you guys want to check that out, that's going to give you the hour by hour timing if this map isn't good enough. So let me see here. Okay, so Greenbrier, yeah, Greenbrier is right on that line, and it's only because we're trying to see when do you transition over to a cold rain. Funny enough, you're 12 hours away. You're still dealing with the questions on, are you going to switch over to a cold rain? Is it going to be primary freezing rain? You know, there's a lot of questions going into that as we get into tomorrow. But the one thing I do want to stress is temperatures are a lot colder than what we were anticipating for today here. So let's see if we can get that to carry over tomorrow, and we'll see what kind of ice event we're going to be dealing with here, okay? So let me see here. So yeah, I'm an essential worker driving from Texarkana to Pine Bluff around 6:30 to 9. Take it easy on the roadways, David. If you have to get out, like I mentioned before, we're not forcing anyone to stay home. I get, you know, a lot of people got to get back to work because of what happened last week. If you got to get out, just take it easy on the roadways. You are going to run. There's probably some problems 6:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning. But as long as you're slow going and the further east you go, the less concerns I'm going to have here. So just take it easy, probably from about Texarkana to about, I would say, Arkadelphia, and then when you make that transition over towards Pine Bluff, that's where you're going to start to have a little bit less issues over there across that area here, okay? So a lot of people are saying their schools are closing tomorrow here. I'm glad to see that because I was really, really concerned about that. Little Rock's timing's on the map. Guys, you got to pay attention to graphic. The cities, the timing, all on the graphic. You got to pay attention to it, guys, okay? So let me see here. What is it? Okay, so what is a cold rain? Basically, it's just regular rain. And temperatures being in the upper 30s, low 40s. The title explains itself. It's literally a cold rain. That's all what it is. It's just regular rain. No snow, no sleet, no freezing rain, no winter weather, just regular rain. That's all what it is. So let me see here. So good question. So once it switches over to a cold rain, how long is it going to take for the ice to clear off? Well, once it switches over, your temperatures are going to be in the upper 30s, low 40s, and it won't be immediate, but over time, it will start to get rid of the ice. It will start to get rid of the lingering snow that's across the board, and we get back to how we were at the beginning of the month here, okay? So let me see here. Northeastern Arkansas, you guys up there, I would like a specific city. Up there, northeastern Arkansas, right now, I think you're kind of on a borderline in terms of seeing freezing rain to a cold rain because of how late it's going to get to you guys up there in northeastern Arkansas. But we will watch that very close as we get towards tomorrow here. So if it starts in the morning, why are schools and some businesses opening a couple hours later if it's not going to get above freezing until later on? Well, that's the number one question. When do you get above freezing? I don't know if the couple hours delay is going to be sufficient because when do you get above freezing? You know, model data will tell you all day long that you're going to get above freezing at noon or at 1 o'clock, and then you'll get to the event and you're still below freezing at noon and 1 o'clock, and it just keeps delaying itself. So when do you make that transition to 33, 34, 35, 36? When does that happen tomorrow? That's why I'm kind of urging for schools. I know it's going to be hard, but this is probably going to be a good day to kind of take one more day of closing before we get back to normal as we get towards Tuesday, because we're not sure when we're going to make that transition over to a cold rain. Is it going to be right at noon tomorrow, or is it going to be tomorrow evening? I mean, when do we make that transition over to a cold rain? That's where you're going to have those issues as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So, yeah, Bentonville, I'm surprised they're still open because they're expecting a lot of ice over there. Benton County, same thing. Roadways are going to be slick. I'm concerned first thing tomorrow morning. I'm going to wake up. A lot of people are going to be go, and it's just going to lead into a disaster. I don't want to see that first thing tomorrow morning, guys. I know parents and everyone's impatiently waiting. They're trying to get to work, they're trying to get to school, trying to get back to normalcy, but you got to be patient with that, especially with ice. If this was snow, it'd be a little bit easier to travel on, as we saw last week, but ice is completely different. First of all, it's transparent on the roadways. The roadways are going to be looking clear to you, but it's going to be covered with that glaze of ice or even more ice on top of that. And that's where you're going to have those issues when we get towards tomorrow. That's why I'm stressing you guys right now. You got to take it easy on the roadways tomorrow morning. You have to, because ice is a completely different beast to drive on versus snow. Snow is a little bit manageable. Freezing rain is not, because it's so transparent. You're not going to see it until you hit it, and by that point, you all know what happens after that here. So let me see here. The initial wave is entering Arkansas here. Temperatures are colder than projected. So that's something, Morgan. Yes, like I mentioned earlier, what's going on, there's a lot of dry air in place right now. There's a lot of dry air in place, and the moisture is moving into that dry air. Once that dry air starts to erode, that's where you're going to get the precipitation to really start getting going. Up there in western Arkansas, if you start seeing that, let us know. That'd be really beneficial. If you guys send those reports saying you've got freezing rain or sleet or anything like that, that'd be really great. That way we can kind of see what's going on the ground and confirm it via radar. So let me see here. Russellville schools have made a decision to close by 4 p.m. Are they closing tomorrow, or they're extending it out to another hour? I would recommend for them to take another school day tomorrow, because, like I said before, when do you transition over to a cold rain? I know that couple hour delay will kind of monitor the situation, but the problem is the later you delay this, especially around that 10, 11 o'clock in the morning time frame, you're going to try to get everybody on the roadways. It's not going to end well. So this will probably be another good day to kind of take a school day off. If you're an administrator, this is probably going to be a good day to close. Everything goes back to normal as we get towards Tuesday, but it's just too big of a risk to try to get everybody on the roadways tomorrow, especially at 10 and 11 o'clock in the morning. It's not going to end well. So let me see here. Okay, so normally I try to catch the live at the beginning. I never ask questions. I just look at the comments and get my answers. Thank you again, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. My kiddos will be out to drinking. Okay, so they're going to be at home tomorrow. That's awesome. So can I explain the timing overlap in the two zones? Could it be earlier? Could it be later? Good question, Andy. I think you're the first one that's ever asked that. So the timing overlay, basically, if you're right there along that line, you've got 4 a.m. as a start on your left side. You've got 7 a.m. starting on your right side. So you would take probably the medium between the two. That puts you about 6 a.m. because it's going to convert over to the other time zone. So I'd put you about 6 a.m. if you're like right there along the line. Areas in eastern Arkansas, that line that's in place, that's a cutoff line. So once it gets past that line, you're not expecting anything except for a cold rain. So along that line, that 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. time frame still remains. But once you get to the east side of that line, it's a cutoff. You're going straight to cold rain, and you're not going to see any impact. So really, really good question, Andy. I appreciate you, man. You ask a lot of good questions whenever we do these live streams. So let me see here. Okay, so what time for Greenwood? That's in western Arkansas. That's Fort Smith. The timing is up there at this point. Okay, so Russellville has closed. Johnson County school districts have closed as well. Clarksville has closed. Down there in southwestern Arkansas, Megan, right now it's a big question mark down there. Do you see freezing rain tomorrow morning, or do you transition over to a cold rain? Right now, with you being so close to northeast Texas, I would bet that you see some freezing rain first thing tomorrow morning. Roadways are probably going to be a mess, and that's where you're going to have those issues here. Something that we'll have to kind of keep an eye on as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So, black ice is nothing to play around with, y'all. Like I said before, snow is a little easier to deal with. Easier in quotation marks, but ice is not. Ice, if you hit that one patch, you're going to hydroplane. And a lot of vehicles are not built for black ice. So please keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow. As you can see, there's our Futurecast radar. The purple that you're seeing, that is straight freezing rain. The other colors, the green, the orange, the yellows, that's just regular rain here. But you can see that freezing rain moving in. And look at that timing. That's 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, guys. I just don't recommend travel tomorrow morning, but I do understand the urgency. If you have to get out, guys, just take it easy on the roadways as we get towards tomorrow. I know I sound like a broken record with that. I am trying to drill that into every single person that is in this live stream right now. So let me see here. Okay, John, thank you. I didn't know you sent me a message earlier, man. I didn't get the chance to get to it. But we have on and off flurries up there in northwestern Arkansas. That's because of the dry air that's in place, and you still have a lot of cold air aloft. The warmer air advection hasn't got to northwestern Arkansas right now. So I want to stress this at this point. We're not expecting this to be a big snow event. This is not going to be 3 to 6 inches of snow. It's not going to be anything like it was last week. We're dealing with ice. Now, on the onset, like John mentioned, we may see a little flurries. We may see some sleet pellets here and there, but it's not going to be a significant deal compared to the freezing rain that is coming in here. Okay, so let me see here. So yeah, I wish schools would decide tonight. Honestly, I think there's enough confidence to make that decision tonight, but I know some school districts, they want to get out, see how the roadways are, and then make that decision. I don't like that because it just draws it out longer and longer and longer. So let me see here. Yeah, so yeah, Dallas, yeah, four-wheel drive does nothing on ice. It does absolutely nothing. So let me see here. So Searcy schools haven't closed. The reason why Searcy hasn't closed, they're a little bit further to the east. Let me see if I can go back over to my graphic system here. So let me kind of take this over to the timing map. Okay, so Searcy's right on the edge of seeing the frozen precipitation as we get towards tomorrow. Let's take a look at your accumulations as well. Your accumulations, that's about a glaze. So what they're going to do in the Searcy area tomorrow morning, they're going to see how the roadways are. If the roadways are great, they're going to send everyone in. If they're not, then they're going to keep everybody at home. Most of the school decisions are going to be first thing tomorrow morning. You know, with snow last week, it was easy to predict. We saw it coming. They were able to get the decision out quickly. With ice, it's a little bit of a different story because when does ice get there? When do you transition to a cold rain? And how are the roads going to be looking throughout the day? That's the number one question here. So, is this going to be as bad as the one 2000? No. Nowhere near it. Absolutely nowhere near that ice storm in 2000, guys, where we had the 2 to 3 inches of ice and all those issues. It's not going to be anywhere near that, but it is going to still cause issues, guys. So, well, Northwest Arkansas see heavy freezing rain. Yes, as you can see, there's the freezing rain totals on the board. So let me see here. Chris, honestly, no, because here's your problem. Like I mentioned before, a lot of people, well, this is probably the first time we've had a freezing rain event in about 2 years here in Arkansas. I think, did we have one last year? I can't remember if we had one last year or not. Somebody in the comments let me know. But anyways, the more significant ice event was in 2022. 2023, I think we had a little bit in February, but I don't know if it was to this extent. So the biggest thing, okay, so Chandler, thank you so much for letting me know about that. 2023, I remember that winter was so little. I mean, you had one event and that was it. But the 2022 one was the more significant one. So this is probably the first time a lot of people are coming to Arkansas and dealing with a freezing rain event. I'm going to give you some tips on it. Number one, four-wheel drive is not going to do anything on it. Number two, to answer your question, Chris, salt on the roadways, it can try to help. And RDOT is going to try to do that. Jesse, if you can let me know as well, I don't know if you're listening to this live stream or not, if you have any idea on how they treat the roadways here. He has a good idea on what they do, but I'm pretty sure salt's not going to do anything on the roadways. It'll help a little bit, but it's not going to help a lot. So the biggest thing I'm going to stress with freezing rain, it's completely different than snow. You're not going to be able to maneuver your way on the ice. It's going to leave the roads pretty much hazardous, especially the higher totals you get of the ice totals out there in western Arkansas. So the biggest thing I want to suggest is that if you have to travel tomorrow morning, if you have to get out, either at school or you're an essential worker or you have to go to work, stuff like that, biggest thing I'm going to stress is take it easy on the roadways, guys. Okay, now obviously priority number one, if you don't have to get out tomorrow morning, don't get out. It's just going to be, the roads are going to be a mess. You're going to have a lot of issues across western Arkansas in terms of power outages and all that. So if you don't have to get out tomorrow morning, then don't get out. But if you have to get out as a priority number two, then don't go 100 miles per hour on the roadways, because it's just going to leave. To be honest with you, it's going to leave with you either hydroplaning or you're crashing into somebody else, because ice is just that brutal, guys. This is not snow. This is ice. This is freezing rain. This is the dreaded ice I've told you guys last week that you don't want to deal with because it causes all these issues. That's the thing that we're dealing with here, okay? So 2009 was bad. 2000 was worse. 2009 did impact a lot of areas. It was a significant event, but if my memory is right, the 2001 was the more significant one where you dealt with 3 inches of ice and all those issues in western and southwestern Arkansas here, okay? So, yeah, Sean, emergency services will be busy, expecting delayed responses, and that's reasonable because they have to do the same thing that you're doing. They have to monitor the road conditions. They have to take it slow as well. So keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow here. They're going to have delayed responses to a lot of things because the roadways are pretty much going to be iced over. Basically, from that line you see for just to the west of Camden to Little Rock up into the Walnut Ridge area at this point. John, great comment. If you're under the ice storm warning, just stay off the roadways, guys. Like I said before, I know a lot of people got to go to work and stuff. If your business is not shut down, your schools are not closed, then take it easy on the roadways, guys. Tread very, 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 very lightly on ice. My first priority to you guys, I wouldn't even travel if you don't have to. If you don't have a reason to go out tomorrow, just kick back, relax, make sure your phones are charged. If you got a generator, make sure they're good. Make sure it's good, but I wouldn't travel tomorrow if you don't have to. If you have to get out, make sure you take it very, very easy on the roadways here. But I want to make this clear. This is not going to be a 2009 repeat. This is not going to be a 2000 repeat. Every ice storm is unique in its own way, just like severe weather. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be bad. Literally, like I said, the other morning, you can ask our folks in Hot Springs and Garland County, down there in southwestern Arkansas. They had a glaze of ice. And I mean, iDrive was just lit up with accidents and, you know, all that stuff, the roadways being a mess and all that. That was just with a glaze of ice, guys. That's what Little Rock is seeing. That's what Texarkana is seeing tomorrow. The further west and northwest you go, that's where the totals are really going to be high, and travel is just not going to be recommended over there as well here, okay? So, let me see here. What am I thinking about the road conditions in Benton along I-30 tomorrow morning? Wouldn't do it. Honestly, you guys, if you don't have to travel, I would wait till this converts over to a cold rain. What we mean by cold rain, for those that are wondering, it's just regular rain. That's it. But it's just cold because temperatures are not going to get too warm. You're going to be talking about temperatures and maybe getting into the 40s at best. But that's what we mean. If you don't have to get out tomorrow morning, I wouldn't travel, guys. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, yeah, so Kirby, that's concerning. 911 and emergency services are having trouble with communication due to last week's winter storm with the ice buildup on the repeaters here. So that's something that we'll have to monitor tomorrow as well here. Okay, so let me see here. I missed a lot. What times is coming through? Let me go back over to the timing map so you guys can see. And by the way, I hope you guys know that we have this information on the page as well. If you're new here, you've never heard of Arkansas Weather Watchers, go check out our page. It's going to answer a lot of your questions in terms of graphics, in terms of what the timing is going to be, and stuff like that here. So you're not missing anything if you don't get your questions answered in the live stream. I'm going to make that clear. All you got to do is just go over to the page. It's going to have all the information you need to know as well. And you can also go into our app as well because we have live storm coverage, and we're going to have radar updates, road conditions, all that good stuff in there as well. So you're not really missing anything, guys, with this just because, you know, you get out of the live stream. So let's take a look at this. We have a lot of people asking about travel tomorrow, so I'm going to leave it with this as well and kind of go back and forth between travel and the ice accumulation and also the timing here. But yeah, Morgan, yeah, Benton was just awful Thursday morning with that glaze of ice. And like I said, that's just a glaze. Some areas in western Arkansas is going to be dealing with ice upwards to a ½ an inch. That's crippling out there. So keep that in mind for tomorrow morning. We had all these issues on Thursday from a glaze of ice. Now you're talking totals almost a half an inch. So keep that in mind tomorrow morning. And like I said before, if you have to get out, no reason to go 100 mile per hour plus. There's no reason at all for all of that, guys. I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning to a ton of accidents across western Arkansas where a lot of people either could have been at home or they could have been going very slow on the roadways here. Tomorrow, you're going to have to pat the patience. That's just how it's going to be. That's just me being honest. You're going to have to pat the patience tomorrow if you're planning on traveling. No reason to go 100 miles per hour plus. That's just how it's going to be for tomorrow. Another thing I want to stress is that this is not going to be a prolonged event. I've stressed this a million times that this is going to transition over to a cold rain. Everybody's going to be back to normal by the time we get towards Tuesday, and I don't know about you guys, but this is getting a little over in terms of the winter weather. I'm ready to get back in the 50s and 60s, talking about regular rain, the temperatures warming up, and everything like that here. But another thing I want to stress as well here, guys, let me make this a billion times clear for everybody that can hear me. We have about a little over 1,000 people on this live stream. This is not going to be a 2009 repeat. This is not going to be a 2000 repeat. This is not going to be a crippling 2-inch, 3-inch ice storm that everybody in Arkansas is going to see. This is not going to be that situation, guys. It's not. I know a lot of people are concerned, and you should be in terms of ice. But ice storms are unique in their own way. It's just like severe weather. You have one event that is, that's just like March 31st, and then you have another event that is unique in its own way. So let me make this clear. A lot of people are seeing a half an inch of ice and thinking that's not much way of ice. That is crippling. That is going to put weight on the power lines, on the trees. It's going to make roadways a mess. If you go out tomorrow and start traveling 70 and 80 miles per hour, it is on you. It is going to be on you. That is about as serious as I'm going to get right now, guys. If you have to get out, and I understand the urgency, I understand the need to get out. A lot of people have been at home for a week. I completely understand that. But ice is a completely different beast compared to snow. This is not how it's going to be like it was last week. You're going into a completely different situation with a completely different precipitation type. Ice is something to not mess around with. That is the number one thing I'm stressing to you guys right now. If you go out, you speed tomorrow, it is going to be on you. I want to make that clear. There's absolutely no reason for anyone to speed tomorrow across this area, especially from central to western to northwestern Arkansas. And that is not me being rude or anything. That is me protecting you and making sure that you get home or you get to your workplace tomorrow. Ice is completely different from snow, and if you are speeding, you're going to pay the price for it. I guarantee you. So make sure if you have to get out tomorrow, no one thing I'm stressing is making sure that you're taking it easy on the roadways, guys. Also, I saw that one comment about the Arkansas State Police. They have the ability to shut down I-40, and I wouldn't blame them. If you start seeing ice totals approaching a half an inch of ice and the roadways are just a complete mess, then yeah, that would be the best call to do, because that will reduce any kind of travel, and it will probably save a lot of people's lives, because a half an inch of ice is just something you do not want to deal with, guys. So I'm making that 100% clear to everybody tomorrow here. You've got to be careful with severe with ice. You have to be careful with it. I saw that comment about severe weather. That's why I got tongue-tied. But you have to be careful as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So I have extra coffee just in case. Yeah, tomorrow, guys, tomorrow morning, if you don't have to get out, there's no reason to get out. Unless it's an emergency. A lot of people, you have to get out, stuff like that. I understand that. But there should be no reason to speed on the roadways as we get into tomorrow here, okay? So, yeah, with the cold pavement, how likely is it going to stay? I want to make this clear, too. Tomorrow night, everyone's going to switch over to a cold rain. Let me go back over to our Futurecast real quick. I think it's this one. Yeah. So, as you can see, there's your freezing rain coming into northwestern Arkansas here, okay? So, that's the thing. And then what happens is you get into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and tomorrow night, you're going to switch over to a cold rain. This is not going to be like it was with the previous winter storm we saw last week, where we had the snow and all that, and everyone was at home for a week. No, this is going to be a situation where tomorrow's going to be chaotic. I've got a feeling it's going to be chaotic, no matter how much I talk about it. But it's going to be chaotic. And then tomorrow night into Tuesday, you're going to switch over. So you can see, there it is, about 2 o'clock. You still have some freezing rain to deal with across northeastern Arkansas, but then you switch over to regular rain. You go back to how we normally do things, and then we're done. By the time we get into Tuesday, we're going to be good to go. Snow's going to be gone. The ice is going to be gone. We're going to be good to go. Another thing I want to stress, too, as well, is that Western Arkansas, even if you switch over to a cold rain, be patient with energy tomorrow, especially for power outages, because you got to remember something. They can't fix your power if it's pouring down raining, because they have to think about their own safety as well. So expect delays with energy if that comes to fruition as we get towards tomorrow. So keep that in mind across the board, across Western Arkansas. They're not going to be able to get to you very quickly. It's going to take some time for them to get to you. They got to wait for the rain to clear out. They got to assess the damage, and then they'll be able to fix your issues here, guys. So that's the number one thing here across the board. But yeah, I saw that one comment: be patient on the roadways. Just that's the one thing I want to stress to you guys as well here. Okay, so I want you guys to be patient on the roadways tomorrow. This is not me being rude or anything. It's not. I have no reason to be rude. This is just me being this is just me being concerned about safety, concerned about making sure everybody's able to get home, get to where they're going without any issues here. Okay, so and like I said, if you have to go to work tomorrow, I understand. I get it. I honestly do. You just have to take it easy on the roadways tomorrow. That's the one thing I'm stressing. If you have to get out tomorrow morning, we're not going to force anyone from staying home, but just take it easy on the roadways, guys. If you got to get where you're going, just take it easy. So let me see here. I live close to I-40. I hope they close it to prevent accidents. Like I said, honestly, if they start having those issues, then yeah. John, yeah, I see that ban north of Dallas. We're going to go over to our radar, come up here in a little bit. That's something that we'll have to watch as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So, taking a look at the temperatures across the state right now here, and it is cold. I mean, it is absolutely cold across the area here. Thank you, Chandler, for getting this in here. But yeah, temperatures are just completely cold. What I'm going to do for just a little bit, those are the observed temperatures as of 7 p.m. We're going to switch this over, and we're going to go over to the RTMA. By the way, that's the accumulations we get towards tomorrow. So this is as of 7 o'clock. This is what we call the real-time mesoscale analysis, which is, in layman's terms, just your observed temperatures at this point. So Little Rock's at 28 degrees, North Little Rock's 27, 30 degrees in Fort Smith, 29 in Russellville. Higher elevations already falling into the mid-20s. Northeastern Arkansas, 25, 26 degrees. Southern Arkansas, you're still clinging to that freezing line, but this is what I'm worried about, guys. Temperatures are a lot colder than when we were really anticipating with this event here. So we'll keep an eye on this. Another thing that I'm worried about is, let's go over to the temperature change here. Yeah, it's definitely warmer. I agree. It's definitely warmer from yesterday when we were talking about the teens and the single digits here, but still pretty cold across the area. Now, this is something that I'm worried about. There's a lot of dry air across the area right now. This is your dew point temperatures. You've got below zero dew points out here in higher elevation, single digits to teens here. So what's going to happen as your moisture's coming in from the southwest, temperatures across the board, 20s and 30s, it's going to encounter this dry air. And your temperature, like I mentioned before yesterday, your dew point and your temperatures are going to eventually meet. When does that happen? If your precipitation comes in earlier than expected, we're going to have a lot of issues to deal with as we get into tomorrow. That's why I'm urging you guys. I get it. I do. Everyone's stir crazy for being in the house for a week. I understand that. But you still got to you still have to be careful on the roadways, guys. This is not snow where you can just get on and travel with a four-wheel drive. This is ice. This is freezing rain. This is ice that we'll be dealing with as we get into tomorrow here, okay? So let me see here. Yeah, Brandy, I love that comment. Be patient with energy and RDOT. Those boys and girls have been working their tails off over the last pretty much almost 2 weeks now with back-to-back winter weather events and all that. They have just been put to the ringer in terms of power outages, dealing with issues in terms of accidents, dealing with road conditions. Be patient with them tomorrow. Most of them are pretty tired of dealing with winter weather by now here, okay? So let me see here. I was wondering how the Canadian model is looking at this point. I haven't even looked at it, to be honest with you, because once we get this close in range, data is just pretty much what we call obsolete, or it's just not even worth it. But I can kind of peek at it and see what it's wanting to do. And let me see. Yeah, it's backed. I'll tell you this. It has backed off from those significant ice totals it had yesterday, which is awesome. But it still has the freezing rain across the board here. So yeah, it has definitely backed off from yesterday, but it still has what we have in terms of Western Arkansas seeing a much bigger accumulations out there. and Central Arkansas is just right on that line. In the eastern, in the far southeastern Arkansas, just a cold rain across the board. If you want to take a look, this is what it looks like. So, like I said before, higher elevations up here, up into Missouri, eastern Oklahoma, right there along Interstate 30. That's a glaze of ice right there, and then the eastern and southeastern Arkansas, pretty much a cold range. So it pretty much has what we have on our accumulation map. I'm glad it came down with those monstrous totals it had the other day, because I was really worried that was going to be the case. So let me see here. It is mandatory to take your own safety into your own hands, guys. I love that comment. I mean, I'd preach that comment all day, every day if I could. Yeah, at the end of the day, we can tell you guys what to do and how to do it, but it's going to be up to you to take it into your own hands. Like, we can't sit here and hold your hand the entire time. It's going to be up to you. What do you do with our advice? Do you take that and run with it, or what do you do with it? That is up to you at the end of the day. It was Rich. Thank you, Rich, for getting that comment. I love that, man. He's our executive director here, and not only with myself, but all of our team members. We've just been working tirelessly over the last week or so. So I haven't heard anything about Springdale closing yet. Man, I wonder what's going on with the delay with the school closings, because those areas up there, they're in an ice storm warning. I mean, you're going to get ice regardless of what happens here. So I wonder what's going on with the delays up there in northwestern Arkansas. Okay, so what is the chance that this stuff comes in sooner? I'd bet a good amount, and that's something I'm concerned about. If this comes in sooner than we're expecting, you're going to have a much bigger shot of seeing additional issues across the area, and that could also add to your ice accumulations across western Arkansas and northern Arkansas and potentially central. We'll keep an eye on that as we get towards tomorrow. Very good comment, Mandy. It's warmer, but it's still cold. So yeah, it's warmer because we were in the teens and 20s yesterday. We're back to what we're, I guess, upper 20s, low 30s is warmer. It's like a heat wave, but it's still colder. It's still supportive enough for seeing freezing rain in any kind of winter weather here across Arkansas here. So yeah, a lot of people are not going to risk it. That's fine. I agree, like I mentioned before. If you don't have to get out tomorrow, guys, just chillax, kick back, watch some TV, get a movie on. It's going to be one of those days where you need some hot cocoa and just watch a movie, guys. Okay, if you don't have to get out, don't get out. If you do, just take it easy on the roadways as we get towards tomorrow here. Okay, so can I explain a little bit more about the dew point and the temperatures here? So Arkadelphia is above freezing, but your dew point is at 11 degrees. Okay, so I wish I had a graphic. Of course, it's on demand, so I'm not going to be able to generate one. I wish I had a graphic for this. But basically, what that does, okay, so you have your dew point's 11 degrees, right? Your temperature is above freezing. So as precipitation is moving in, as I mentioned before, all precipitation starts off as snow. No matter the year, no matter what time of the year, no matter the date, all precipitation starts off as snow. So what happens is, starts off as snow, melts to any kind of precipitation, that's sleet, that's freezing rain, and it starts to moisten up your environment. It's called evaporation or cooling. So what happens is, as your atmosphere cools off, your temperatures fall as your dew point rises. So you could be 34 degrees surface, 11 degrees dew point. As precipitation is falling, it will eventually meet, which will put you, a little bit of camera math here, probably about 24, 25 degrees with your surface temperature until things start warming up. That's why I'm concerned about an earlier timing. Because if this starts coming in earlier with temperatures being this cold, you're going to have more issues to deal with as we get towards tonight and into the first part of your Monday morning here. So please keep that in mind here. We're going to be on top of that as well. Also, while I have about 1,000 people here, I have two requests. Number one, if everyone would like to see a YouTube continuous live with the information, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see that tonight going into tomorrow here, okay? So, another thing, what I want you guys to do as well, go download our weather app. It's going to be very important. It's going to give you the road conditions. It's going to give you the school closures, all the information you need to know in terms of alerts, in terms of radar, all that. It's going to be in our weather app, so go and download that weather app for tonight here, guys, okay? So, and please keep in mind, I'm not going to be live all night talking to you guys. There's going to be music in the background with radar and information But tomorrow morning, if we've got a mess on the board, and I may have to break in tomorrow morning. Brandon, no, absolutely not. You're too cold. You are way too cold for any severe weather tomorrow here. Okay, so our school will let us know by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. I don't understand the delay. I don't get it, because if you have ice and it's a certainty, especially in the ice storm warning, I mean, that's just pretty much tells you how the weather's going to be tomorrow. But I understand the delay in terms of making sure how the school closures are and everything like that here. Okay, so yeah, cross it down there. Fortunately for you guys, fingers crossed, you guys should be a cold rain unless there's an earlier start. If there's an earlier start, pretty much everybody's going to see ice if there's an earlier start. But the later this goes, the more it will start favoring more of a cold rain, especially for our folks over there in eastern Arkansas at this current time here. Okay, so let me see here. Yeah, so like I said before, go download that weather app. It is very, very important that you do. I'm gonna see if I can get some ice safety tips for you guys here. I didn't think about doing that before the live stream here, but I'm gonna see if I can get that up for you guys. We have it somewhere in our graphic system here. So, biggest thing I want to stress tomorrow, like we mentioned before, if you're planning on traveling, just make sure that you're being careful, guys. Okay, just make sure that you're being careful on the roadways here, because it causes a lot of issues. Basically, like I mentioned before, what happened down there in Southwest Arkansas on Thursday, you have a lot of issues. Let me see here. So this is a perfect one, but let me see if I can get it into our cycle, because we have it on our deal. Give me just 1 second. Let me see if I can get this up on our side over here. And thank you, Ruth, for letting me know about that, getting the safety tips up here. Because a lot of people, this is probably for our folks here in Arkansas, this is probably the first time a lot of people are dealing with ice. So give me just 1 second here. Let me see if I can get this up. And there we go here, okay? And also thank you, Rich, for getting me those tips as well here. So yeah, the biggest thing I want to stress, planning on traveling tomorrow, let's go over what we need. That's going to be cell phone charger, spare tire, flares. That's going to be a full tank of gas. Kitty litter also works as well. Let's see, blankets, flashlights. It's not going to be like it was with this event in terms of the temperature, but still have mittens, warm clothes, just to be on the safe side, and also water and snacks, and a first aid kit as we get towards tomorrow here. If you're planning on traveling, that's just the emergency supply kit that you need when you're dealing with any kind of winter weather across the board. So I'm going to see if I got this up. We're going to see if we got this up in our cycle here. If we don't, then I understand, but let me see real quickly here. So give me just 1 second, guys. There's one graphic I want to talk to you guys about, because this results in a lot of traffic. Boom, got it. Okay, so this is very important as we get towards tomorrow morning. Okay, I've got about 1,000 people on here, so still a good amount of reach across the area. So this is very important, especially when we get towards tomorrow. Rain with temperatures near freezing. I'm going to get a lot of comments tomorrow talking about it's raining outside and it's 27, 28 degrees, or it's 30 degrees. That is freezing rain, guys. Okay, so basically with freezing rain, how that works, it's regular rain, which you can see on our graphic. It creates basically ice on the roadways, on the power lines, all that good stuff. So slow down. Do not use cruise control tomorrow, and leave plenty of distance between yourself and the other vehicles. My grandpa taught me this when I was learning how to drive. Is when you drive, you're not only looking out for yourself, but you're looking out for everybody else around you. So tomorrow, whenever you're planning on traveling, make sure you stay aware of everybody else along with yourself. Make sure you're stressing. If you gotta travel tomorrow, just slow down. Don't use cruise control. Leave plenty of distance between everybody. No need to go 100 miles per hour. No need for the road rage and all the other stuff. I promise you, wherever you got to go, that building is going to be there when you get there, okay? So this is how it's going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be like frozen precip coming out from the sky. This is going to be regular rain, and it's going to deceive. That's the word I was looking for last night, and I couldn't think of it. Ice is a big deceiver, because what it does, it convinces you, basically, it looks just like regular rain, and you're thinking, oh man, travel's great, it's just rain. But it's ice, because what happens is once it hits the pavement, once it hits the sidewalks, anything that's at or below freezing, it's going to freeze. It's going to turn into a solid sheet of ice. So that's the number one thing I want to stress to you guys right now. If you guys can do me a big, big favor, let's share this live stream to about as anyone as you can. Let's get this information out. Don't leave or anything like that just because I'm not answering questions right now. This is very, 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 very important. This is very, 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 very important. You have to know these safety tips tomorrow because a lot of people are either new here to Arkansas, probably have never dealt with freezing rain, don't even know what freezing rain is. It is regular rain that causes a sheet of ice on the roadways, on the power lines, on trees, on elevated surfaces, anything that is at or below freezing. Once that rain makes contact, it's going to freeze. So make sure that you know about this stuff as we get into tomorrow here, okay? So let me see here. All right, so let me see here. Okay, so I know the green on the radar is playing rain. Why is the Futurecast showing rain ahead of the freezing rain? So reason why it's showing that is because some temperatures across eastern Arkansas are going to be above freezing. You know, some areas may be 33, 34 tonight, or some areas may be 25, 26. It's just going to depend on where you're at across the state. But as that evaporational cooling takes place, your temperatures fall. This is very reminiscent to what we saw January 5th here in Arkansas with that snow event that produced, you know, that 2 inches of snow, that wet snow, where temperatures were 35, 36 degrees, and you still had that heavy snow that transitioned over to rain. So keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow, and that's how it's going to work. That's why our Futurecast is kind of determining who's at freezing, who's below freezing, who's going to see the freezing rain, while other areas may see rain. I hope that makes sense here, okay? So, let me see here. Yeah, go to the homepage. They have all the apps and the links in there. Let me see here. So, there's the graphic. You guys should see it on the board now. Let me see here. I have this song in my head all day after watching Adam the Weatherman, who sneaks in lyrics. I've seen his videos. That's awesome. Let me see here. Yeah, it's not going to be, it just, like I said, I misread that comment. Yes, it's going to be a cold rain unless you get an earlier start, especially in eastern Arkansas. Now, northwestern Arkansas, even if the timing's a little later, you're going to be dealing with ice. That's just how it's going to be. You're going to be dealing with ice as we get into tomorrow. So, no more thing I want to stress you guys as well. A lot of people have asked about winter notifications. When you get into our app, there's three icons. There's a home, there's our logo, and there's going to be a person with a little gear icon. You click that third button, you scroll down, you go to notification settings. Make sure all weather notifications are turned on. That way you get the latest information with any ice storm warnings, any advisories, watches, etc. So make sure that is turned on at this point here, okay? So let me go back over to this. One more last thing I want to go over, and then I'm going to go back to the timing. Freezing rain, like I mentioned before, this is not going to be frozen precipitation falling out of the sky tomorrow. A lot of people are used to seeing snow, they're used to seeing sleet, they're going to see regular rain, and they're going to think, oh man, bet I can go out on the roadways, roads are clear. No, they are not. Slow your road, buddy. No, they are not. They are not clear. They're going to have a lot of ice on them, especially in northwestern Arkansas, to central Arkansas along I-30, into that 167 corridor. It's going to be a hazardous area as we get towards tomorrow morning here. So keep that in mind. Until we say that all of Arkansas is in a cold rain, assume that it's freezing rain. Especially if you take a look at our app, you see the temperatures that are below freezing. If you see 30 degrees and it's pouring down raining outside, that is freezing rain. That is not regular rain here. So don't go try and travel. I say if you have to travel, take it easy on roadways, guys. Okay, like so for a lot of people, it's going to be kind of a mixed situation tomorrow because a lot of people either have to go back to work, school's going to be in session tomorrow, all that. It's kind of the worst time possible to get an ice event here in Arkansas, but that's what we've been dealing with so far. So this is very, 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 very important as we get into tomorrow here, okay? So let me see here. A lot of people are asking about the roadways. Folks, tomorrow, especially tomorrow morning, the roadways are going to be chaotic. I want you guys to pay attention to, this is a power outage. I'm going to get back to you in just a second. I want you guys to pay attention to this map. I'm going to leave this up for a good bit because I want to stress this right now. A lot of people are asking about the roadways tomorrow morning. They're going to be hazardous, okay? You have to slow down. If you don't slow down, it is on you. We have told you guys over and over again in terms of what to do, how to do it, how to be prepared. This is up to you guys now. This is up to y'all. You have to know what you're doing in terms of travel. You have to slow down. You can't go 100 miles per hour. I know everyone's stir crazy. I know everyone's been cooped up in the house for a week and they're dying to get out. But you've got to be safe. You have to be safe when you're dealing with ice here. I've stressed that a million times here. Biggest thing I want to stress along I-30 up to 167, 270 over there in southwestern Arkansas. Interstate 40 might as well be just, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up shutting that down tomorrow, just to be honest with you, because you're just going to have a chaotic mess on 40 tomorrow. And then northwestern Arkansas up there on alone Interstate 49, that's where you're going to have the issues as well here. So please, 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 please slow down tomorrow if you have to get out. If you don't have to get out, then just chill, relax, make sure your phones are charged, especially in western Arkansas. We will be dealing with power outages tomorrow as well. I haven't even talked about the wind. I'm going to talk about the wind coming in here in just a second. So let me see here. I don't know whoever said that snowflakes don't melt. They do. That's something that we deal with on a year basis, all 365 days, 24/7. Whenever you have any kind of precipitation, unless it is completely cold all the way through, then yes, snow does melt and it does transition over to ice here. Okay, so yeah, Mark. Oh man, I wish I could put that on the billboard. Practice safe and defensive driving for tomorrow here. Now, this is no one thing I'm worried about too. Jennifer's comment. Once the rain starts there, will the ice patches still be there for the first bit? Yes, they will still be there. And thank you for bringing this up, Jennifer. It's a really great comment. A lot of people are going to see rain at first. Even after you switched over to a cold rain, you're still going to have issues on the roadways in terms of the ice that sticks, because it's going to take a little bit for the rain to be able to penetrate through that ice sheet that's on the roads, and that's where you're going to have those issues. So keep that in mind. Once you switch over to cold rain, that's not a all go, let's go, let's get out and do stuff. No, it's going to take a couple of hours of cold rain, temperatures above freezing, for that ice layer to thaw out and to finally break apart and go into, regular water. So it's going to take time. It's not going to be an instant of once you're at cold rain, you got to go. No, this is going to be a couple of hours. Honestly, I'd say by Tuesday morning we should be good to go. This is not going to be a situation where Monday night everything's going to be back to normal. We're going to take the steps in the right direction in terms of getting rid of ice, but it's not going to happen immediately here because of how cold the roads are. You got to remember, a lot of roadways had snow on them for the last couple of days, and temperatures have been, I think outside of Thursday, have been relatively below freezing. So the roadways are going to have that sheet of ice for a while, and then once it starts warming up and it's sustained warm with the cold rain coming in, that's when you're going to have the ice concerns start to go away here. But yeah, so my phone says 27 degrees, so if it rains, it will be freezing rain. Absolutely correct. I'm stressing this right now. If you see regular rain and it's 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, that is freezing rain. Even 32, but it's But yeah, anywhere between 27 and 32, that is freezing rain. We can get freezing rain at 24, 25. I want to stress that right now here. A lot of people are going to see that rain. They're going to be wanting to go. No. No. If you're below freezing, it's not going to have, it's not going to end well here. So, Sarah, we do have a power outage map. There's the power outages at this point across northwestern Arkansas. Central Arkansas right now, I'm getting a lot of questions from there. It's low. I can't rule it out, especially if we have a little bit of an earlier start. But yeah, I think the best potential for power outages is going to be across western and northwestern Arkansas as we get into tomorrow here, okay? So I think that's pretty much it. Man, oh man. Let's take a look at this. Give me just 1 second. Let's go take a look at the HRR now. Now this is starting to get a little concerning because what's the HRR doing? It's starting an earlier timing. Now look at your totals here across the area here. You've got almost oh man, that'd be crippling for me now, but don't take these totals and run with it here. But it does have Little Rock seeing almost 1/4 of an inch of ice, Little Rock almost a 1/2 inch of ice over here. This is the area that we're going to have to watch very closely. If trends continue and things start increasing across the Central Arkansas area, you guys may be bumped to that medium risk for travel. So literally from Little Rock to Hot Springs, along I-40, 167, Interstate 49, 270 down here. This is going to be 82 is going to be fine because of cold rain, but just monitor this area very, very closely from the Queen to Foreman all the way to the Hot Springs area, the Little Rock, up into that'd be Walnut Ridge, over into the Fayetteville area down to Fort Smith as we get towards tomorrow here. So I'm noticing how the HR is coming in colder. I want to see what it did with the 0Z run. And yeah, you can definitely see the difference between the 0Z and then the 01Z, where has the freezing rain extending down into eastern and south and east, more to the east and southeast compared to the other runs here. Like Rich said, yeah, this is going to be a nowcast situation where we're going to have to monitor the radar and monitor changes across the air here. Okay, so is there a new mesoscale? I'm not sure there's a new mesoscale or not. I'll have to look at that in just a second. Let me go back over to Futurecast just a little bit, and I'm going to take a look at that. So give me just 1 second here. I think is there a new one? Let me see. No, I'm pulling up SPC right now. Yeah, there it is. So this is a new one, but it's not going to be for us here in Arkansas. It's going to be over there in Oklahoma along the Red River here. Thank you, Rich, for getting that up. So increasing potential for freezing rain with potential for quick ice accumulations here. So yeah, it's going to be for Oklahoma. Thank you, Abby and Rich. Right now, I'm going to have to keep an eye on that because that's going to move into northwestern Arkansas later on tonight here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let me see if I can get this up. Thank you so much, Rich, for the graphic. Let's see if we can get this into our cycle here. So give me just 1 second, and it should be coming up here in just a little bit here. So basically, it's going to go for Oklahoma along the Red River. This is pretty much it. I'll have a better look at it coming up in just a little bit here. But basically, this is Oklahoma along the Red River. As you can see, this is not in Arkansas yet, but the trajectory with this will put it in northwestern Arkansas as we get later into the night and into the first part of your tomorrow morning here, which will result in freezing rain here. So we'll keep an eye on that over the next couple of hours. Thank y'all so much for getting that information to me in the discussion chat here. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so yeah, this winter weather season has been insane across the country. Yeah, we talked about that in the winter outlook. We told you guys it was going to be pretty insane once we flipped the script over to January. So let me see here. Oh yeah, can I go over wind speeds? Yes, that's very important. Let's go over the wind speeds real quick. So this is getting into tomorrow here. Now this is a gust. Now you're talking about 20 mile per hour wind gusts here, but look at the higher elevations up here. 30, 35, upwards to 40 mile per hour wind gusts up here. And we'll keep an eye on it here. I don't know if the HR is doing pretty good with the potential wind gusts as we get towards tomorrow. Let's take a look at the NAM for just a little bit. This was a little bit more accurate. It appears, by the way, that the wind gusts are going to move in once the ice is out of here, which is great because that will lead to more of a cold wave situation where you don't have to deal with ice and wind at the same time. But my problem is up here in northwestern Arkansas, if you're dealing with 40 mile per hour winds with ice on the tree limbs, on the power lines, that's going to lead to additional outages. So something that we'll have to watch as we get towards tomorrow evening and into tomorrow night here. But yeah, Sarah, thank you for reminding me about the wind gusts. I forgot to go over that earlier on here. So I've got Futurecast up, so you don't have to worry about it. Let me see here. We'll be updating overnight. Yes, like so for on our YouTube page. One of my guys, I'm not sure if it's already in the comments or not, but if y'all can link our YouTube page in the comments, that'd be great. I want people to go look at that YouTube, go subscribe to it. It's going to have the continuous live stream on there. If you have a smart TV, by the way, you can download the YouTube app on your smart TV. On your smart TV. And then what you can do is you can search up Arkansas Weather Watchers, and then you can go to the YouTube, you can go to Arkansas Weather Watchers, and then go to the live stream, and then all you can do is have it up on your TV all night, and then you're good to go. So let me see here. Yeah, I say that to myself all the time. Let me see here. Oh God, it's becoming a trend. So yeah, if these 3 weeks are any indication of 2024, I want a refund. Oh yeah, it's been crazy, and I've got a feeling it's not going to be the last time we're dealing with active weather here. I don't even want to touch spring yet. Spring's going to be crazy for us here in Arkansas. We'll have more on that over the next month or so. But other than that, guys, I think that's really it. I would like to know how fast it will clear out, especially on Interstate 49. Honestly, I would say probably tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. All right, 49 is going to be a mess. No matter how many times you stress about travel, about people taking it easy on roadways, it's going to be a mess, especially at that tunnel going into Fayetteville here. So, yeah, it's going to be a mess tomorrow morning. My recommendation right now is just taking it easy on the roadways, guys. If y'all can stress to y'all's household tonight about not going 90 mile per hour plus, that would really, really be helpful here. So, let me see here. Yeah, Rich, great comment. Watch out for broken tree limbs on the roadways because of the ice. Spring Hill School and Spring Hill outside of Hope, Arkansas just called off school for tomorrow. That makes me feel so good. That's basically down there in southwestern Arkansas here. So, yeah, temperatures are a lot colder than what we're expecting right now here. Like I said before, we're going to have updates throughout the evening. Got YouTube up on more. I've already gone over the discussion, by the way. Got YouTube up on our TV, watching it right now. Do what Sherry's doing. Just leave that up overnight, and it's going to be awesome here, okay? So, let me see here. I think that's really it for the comments. Been popping in and out, super sick. I hope you get better. So I'm kind of hoping that they call a weather day for tomorrow. I really hope so too, especially if you're in western Arkansas. Let me see here. So I think that's really it. I think that's it, guys. Okay, that's all it for the questions I've seen across the board. So let's go over. Let's do a little small recap real quick. This is the winter weather advisory in place from Walnut Ridge to Little Rock. Basically, not even Little Rock anymore. That's Lone Oak. So from Walnut Ridge to Lone Oak, all the way down to Texarkana. And then you have the ice storm warning that's going to go for Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Russellville, Jasper, those areas in western Arkansas. That is where you're going to see the potential upwards to a half an inch of ice, which is crippling, by the way. So keep that in mind. I will say this, and Rich, Chandler, Heidi, you guys we're gonna have to watch the HR, Dustin as well. We're gonna have to watch the HR. We're gonna watch trends as we get towards overnight tonight, because if colder trends happen, there could be an extension of the ice storm warning to include more areas. We'll keep an eye on that. Right now, I think the advisory will do just fine across much of the area, except for western Arkansas. But we're going to watch that. The moment we start seeing trends in terms of colder conditions and more ice, I really wouldn't be surprised if that ice storm warning were to be kind of including more areas in northwestern Arkansas and in western Arkansas. I don't see it making it here to central. I think the advisory is just fine, but something that we'll watch as we get towards tonight here. Travel tomorrow, Interstate 30, Interstate 40 along Highway 167, over towards Interstate 49 to 70 in southwest Arkansas. Those are going to be the areas that you're going to have a lot of issues tomorrow on the roadways. So if you have to get out, if you're stir crazy, you have to get out of the house, take it easy on the roadways. Don't go 90 miles per hour on those roadways as we get into tomorrow, because it's not going to end well here, okay? So there's the winter weather outlook as we get towards tomorrow. Basically, from Lone Oak all the way down to southwest Arkansas to near Jonesboro, freezing rain to rain. The number one question, when do we switch over to a cold rain? When does that happen? That's going to determine the impacts, the accumulations, any power outages, tree damage. It's going to determine all of that as we get towards tomorrow. We have upgraded tomorrow to a high risk for travel, especially for our folks in western Arkansas, where heavy freezing rain could be possible across Fayetteville, Jonesboro, Harrison, Russellville, along Interstate 40, Waldron, and into the Fort Smith area. So something that we're going to monitor as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? Timing, as it stands right now, 4 a.m. to noon across western Arkansas, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. as we get into west central, northern Arkansas, southwest Arkansas, and towards central. And in eastern Arkansas, not really expecting much in the way of any precip right now, but this is what we call a fluid situation, and we'll monitor it during the overnight hours here, okay? Here's the ice totals. For our folks along Interstate 30, look for about a glaze, upwards to a tenth of an inch of ice. You go to the west, ice totals increase significantly, and in some cases dramatically, especially across western and northwestern Arkansas, where some places could be closing in on a half an inch of ice. Very, 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 very dangerous situation over there in western Arkansas. Make sure that your generator's on. If you don't have a generator, it's not the end of the world, but if you do have one, make sure it's working. You should have already kind of checked your house for any tree limbs that are kind of hanging down. Also, make sure that you're prepared for power outages. Make sure your phones are charged. Make sure your electronics and stuff are good to go, because there will be power outages tomorrow. That's just how it's going to be when you're dealing with ice totals of this magnitude here. Elsewhere, southwestern Arkansas to Little Rock, up towards the Walnut Ridge areas, that is where we're going to have to watch and see. I think these totals right now are decent, but if things are a lot colder than expected and it's an earlier timing, then there will probably be some sort of a significant jump with the ice totals as we get towards late tonight into the first part of tomorrow morning. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the overnight hours here, okay? Travel impact. I've stressed this map probably a million times tonight. Make sure that you are prepared for tomorrow, especially across western, northwestern Arkansas. Along I-30, the I-30, the 630 area, 430 across central Arkansas. I know it's a low risk right now, but we all saw what happened Thursday with the glaze of ice. It's not going to end well, guys. Okay, so make sure that you are taking it easy on the roadways tomorrow. If you have to travel, make sure you're taking it easy on the roadways. As you can see on the bottom of our screen, there's the ice storm warning for our areas. We'll keep an eye on it for tonight and ISO 4 tomorrow. We're going to have live coverage. We're going to keep everything updated. Make sure you go take a look at our app as well. It's going to give you the road conditions, the school closings, everything you need to know, and also radar and live storm coverage in there as well. A lot of people haven't gotten familiar with that. Basically, when you go into that in the app, it pretty much shows you what we're updating. That's graphics, that's any alerts, all that good stuff. It's within the app, so make sure you check that out here. But please be careful on the roadways tomorrow, guys. Don't let it go one ear out the nets. Please make sure that you're being careful on the roadways tomorrow, okay? Same thing with the power outages across western, northwestern Arkansas. We've got a high risk for power outages over here. Along Interstate 30, I think it's a low right now. If the HR has its way, though, we're going to have to keep an eye on it here. But western and northwestern Arkansas, that's something that we're going to have to monitor as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? And then, what I want to talk to you guys about as well, this is something that I'm very concerned about. A lot of people are going to be expecting snow, or they're going to be expecting some sort of frozen ice coming out of the sky tomorrow for freezing rain. That is not the case. It's a deceiver for a reason, because it looks like regular rain when it's not. It's water. It's pretty much rain that's falling, and it's freezing on contact. That's what's so dangerous about freezing rain, because it likes to deceive people. It likes to kind of tell your mind that, oh, it's just regular rain that's going to happen. You get on the roadways, and it's just a solid sheet of ice. So make sure tomorrow you know the difference between freezing rain and rain. Freezing rain is temperatures that are below freezing. Rain occurs when temperatures are above freezing and there's nothing that refreezes on the surface. So keep that in mind for tomorrow here, okay? Just make sure you know that, the difference between freezing rain and rain here, okay? So one last thing I want to go over, I do believe that other graphic was the travel. I'll get at it in just a second. One last thing I want to go over is the notifications. Make sure when you download our app, if you haven't downloaded our app, this is a great time to do it. But make sure when you get into our app, that third icon, you click on that, you go to notifications, you turn on all weather notifications. That way you get any kind of notifications for any ice storm warnings, any winter weather advisories, etc. here. So make sure that is turned on here. And one last thing I want to add you guys before I hop off of here, the safety tips with the travel, okay? Slow down. Don't use cruise control. Leave plenty of distance tomorrow, guys. Make sure that y'all are being careful. If you don't have to get out, don't get out. If you do, don't go 90 miles per hour on the roadways. I'm literally begging you guys at this point. I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning to a 40-car pileup on Interstate 40 or something like that. I don't want to wake up to that, guys. I want to wake up to hearing that there's little to no accidents, that everybody's taking their time on the roadways if they have to get out, or schools are closed, so you don't have to get out tomorrow. But tomorrow's not going to be a good day. It's just not. You got ice going over the rain. It's just not going to be a good day to get out. But if you have to, just take it easy. Biggest thing I'm going to stress is that ice can form on roadways and lead to very dangerous travel. And with air temperatures, or the road temperatures, by the way, it's going to be a combination of both. The air temperature and the road temperature are going to be at or just below freezing here, guys. So That is all I got for you guys this evening. Y'all be safe out there. Please be safe. I don't want to wake up to that tomorrow morning. But if you have to get out, just take it easy on the roadways, and we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather.